Hi all. Today we're going to learn how to contribute to an existing cloud app. One of the nice things about this whole framework is that it's open and it uses standard development tools like GitHub. So there's nothing specific for cloud apps here we're going to show. We're simply going to take an existing cloud app, make a local change, and then use GitHub forks and pull requests to ask the cloud app owner to include our changes in their cloud app. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm in an Alma instance, and I have been using this cloud app here, the eCollection Quick Update. It's a nice cloud app. It's quite interesting. It's quite a nice app. It allows us to make changes in a bulk fashion to many eCollections. And it's missing a field, though, for my purposes, and I would love to add that field to the cloud app. So I'm going to go and click on these three dots, and I'm going to click on this info icon here, and that's going to open more information about this app on the App Center at the Developer Network. And I can scroll down and I can see more information about this cloud app, and I also have the link to the repository on GitHub. So I'll click on that link, and that's going to take me to the app's repository here on GitHub. And so now that I know where this app lives and where the code lives, I can come back here to the Developer Network. I can go to the Cloud Apps section. I can click on Getting Started. And I can scroll down to Starting with an Existing Application. There's a video here that I can watch as well. And I can clone this app from the GitHub URL that I just copied. I can clone that locally, and I can work on it locally and make a few changes. So I've actually gone ahead and done that. So I'm going to flip over to this tab here, and we see that I have some electronic collections that are open. And I'm working in my local host, so I've already cloned the repository and I've made some changes. I'm going to open the app. Just grab a few eCollections here. And we'll see that what I have actually done is I've added a public note field. So this field wasn't here before, and I added it. I went into the code and I saw how the app was written, and I saw what had to be done in order to add a field. It was actually quite easy. You just had to change a few files. And so now that's done, ready to go. I've tested it. It seems like it works well, and I would like to submit this change as a pull request to the owner of that repository. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my GitHub desktop on my computer. And I'm going to now add this local repository that I've just created. So again, I have cloned that repository. I've made the change locally. And I'm going to click on Add a Local Repository. And I'm going to go find that locally. It's right here in my downloads. And I'm going to click on Open. And I'm going to add that repository, and it shows me the changes that I've made. So in the eCollection components, I've added this new field here. In the model, I've added an additional field. And in the translation strings, I've added the description for public note in the English file. So that's great. And normally I would then come over here and commit it if I was working in my own repository. But here, GitHub tells me that I don't have write access to this repository, and it asked me if I would like to go ahead and create a fork. So a fork means that I'm taking the repository, I'm making a copy of it in my GitHub account, and that of course allows me to make changes to it, and then I can ask the repository owner to pull my changes into the app. So I'm going to click on Yes, Create a Fork. It says it looks like I don't have write access. Do I want to create a fork for it? And I do want to create a fork, so I'll click on Fork this repository. And now it's going to ask me a few questions here. It's saying, what would I like to do with these changes? Would I like to contribute to the parent project, or am I just making changes for myself? And in fact, I do want to contribute to the parent project, right? I'd like my changes to be incorporated into the main repository. So I'll leave this selected, and I'll click on Continue. Okay, so now I'm going to commit my change, and I will say added public note, and I will commit to master. And then I can go ahead and push this change back up to GitHub, which it will do for me. And now, once it's been pushed up to my GitHub repository, I am going to go into my branch menu and click on Create Pull Request. And that's going to pop open GitHub in a browser. And we'll see here that that I am now inside of this parent repository, and it says it's going to compare changes from the parent, and it's going to pull changes from my own local repository. And it correctly shows that I have 3 files that are changed. Okay, so the same changes I saw a moment ago in my GitHub client are now here in this pull request. And I'm going to click on Create Pull Request. And it's going to offer me the opportunity to write a title for my pull request, some comments. Great app. I'd love to add a new field, public note. And then I will click on Create Pull Request. So now I have a pull request created inside of the parent repository. The owner of this repository has received a notification, a message that I would like them to pull my changes into the main application. They might communicate with me through this pull request saying, hey, this is a great change. Can you just make this one little update? We might go back and forth here in the pull request. Hopefully at the end of this process, the owner repository will pull in my changes, and then the app will be published, and I'll be able to use this app to update that new field inside of eCollections. So that's really all there is to it. Again, nothing here that we've seen today has been specific to Cloud Apps. We're just using standard GitHub forks and pull requests in order to be able to ask that changes that we'd like to have made be incorporated into the application. And then once the app owner publishes it, we'll be able to we and the rest of the community will be able to use that new functionality that we've contributed. Thanks all.